Welcome to the Enterprise 2.0 conference. This is Bryant Duhan, editor with AIIM International, and we have with us today Ben Kiker, who is Chief Marketing Officer for Jive Software. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, Bryant.
Now, prominent on your website is the new way to business and the end of business as usual. These are great taglines. What does that mean, though?
Well, let me start, Bryant, by tackling the last question, which is the end of business as usual. Look, we believe that there are three pretty big problems with business as usual. The first is life-sucking old technology and old business applications that make it really challenging for people to get work done. That's number one. Number two, customers have got a big microphone, and they've got the ability, even a bigger microphone than this, by the way, they've got the ability to strike back in a much more meaningful way than they have before. And finally, look, we think there's a lot of wasted opportunity in business. There are a lot of things that get in the way of people actually being successful and getting work done. So that's why we believe it's time for the end of business as usual. And we believe the answer is, in the new way to business, is all about a social business. How do we bring all the great consumer web innovations from the last decade that we use in our personal lives, and how do we bring that into the enterprise and make that work for business? And that's what Jive Software is all about.
As you were talking about the tearing down the walls, all I can think of was Pink Floyd, The Wall.
There you go. That could be something that we could work into the show this week.
To the next marketing effort. Just a quick question then. What is social business?
Sure. So social business is really about connecting with and engaging with customers, employees, prospects in the social web in a much more meaningful and authentic way. And again, it really is about taking all the great consumer web innovations from the last decade and making those work for business to ultimately get to bigger business outcomes faster.
Okay. This is a little bit long-winded here, but okay, so I'm a hard-nosed CEO, CIO, who thinks that social media is just a bunch of gossiping around the digital water cooler, right? Convince me it's going to do my business some good.
I don't know that I've ever met one of those types yet. Look, awesome question, right? Because this is the whole movement to social business is big. It's getting a lot of attention, hence the event here, the interview that you and I are doing. So I think it's a fair question. So I think the best way to answer it is let's look at who are some of the big global brands that are putting social business to work in the organization today. CSC, 50,000 employees who Jive. Alcatel-Lucent, 10,000 employees who Jive. Yum Brands, 6,000 employees who Jive. Charles Schwab, they've got an awesome customer community. Customers that are a member of that social business community trade nearly 2 times customers that aren't. Nike, their Running Plus community is powered by Jive. 40% of the people in that community actually end up purchasing Nike gear. So if you're looking for proof points, it's pretty tough to argue with those kind of statistics.
Let me go off script a moment here and ask you a follow-up question to that. And how did you get into those companies to begin with? Then, without those proof points, chicken or the egg? How did you make the argument to these guys to take the leap?
Awesome question, Brian. The way that we did it is Jive has really been leading in defining the social business market now for a number of years. And we have over 3,000 customers. We've got about 15 million people that use our product. So we've built up a really good background on a number of big organizations that we've worked with, some great results. So we typically are able to go into organizations and demonstrate, if not someone exactly in their industry, someone trying to drive to the same business outcome that they're trying to get to, and that's what helps us get in the organization. And once we're there, we have a lot of great conversations that ultimately lead to an area where social business could really impact that organization in a meaningful way.
Again, back to impact in a meaningful way. How do you determine ROI from social media?
Yeah, another great question. Look, I think there are a lot of ways to look at business impact, and it typically gets back to a business process that's focused around selling, around marketing, or around service. And how do you ultimately help organizations drive revenues or lower costs? And I would say that every example that I just shared with you, as well as all the ones that are on our website at jivesoftware.com, have an element of better selling, better marketing, or better service and support of customers.
Okay. And I feel like I need a teleprompter here, but last question. You've got a lot of news coming out, or news came out yesterday.
Big week.
A couple of highlights. What's new from Jive?
Yeah, you bet. So yesterday was a big news day for Jive. We made a number of product and partnership announcements, and I'll just very quickly kind of recap those for you. And obviously, we've got a lot more information available at jivesoftware.com. So first, on the product side, we introduced two big things yesterday: Jive What Matters and the Jive Apps Market. I'll start with the Jive Apps Market. We are the first social business provider to offer an apps marketplace where our customers, third-party developers, systems integrators, other folks will be able to build applications and make those applications available to the companies and the 15 million people that use Jive today. So we're really excited about the apps market and about what we'll be doing with that. Jive What Matters represents what we think is a fundamental and revolutionary experience and way to consume business applications. So it's a great way to not only consume all the data out of Jive, but to cut through a lot of the chatter and the noise that exists in organizations today and really land on what matters to you to get your job done. So on the partner front, a big day for us with partnerships as well. We made a number of strategic partner announcements this week at the conference. Probably two big ones to highlight would be Google. Jive social business software is now available in the Google Apps Marketplace, which we're really excited about. And the second is with Twitter. We are one of a handful of companies to license the full Twitter firehose. What that means is if you're a Jive customer, you'll have the ability in monitoring and listening to the social web to listen to all of those 65 million tweets every day and make sure that you're staying on top of what's being said about your company, about your brands, and about your service, so that you can move faster in the moment of pain or in the moment of opportunity.
A little bit better than a search column in Hootsuite.
Way better than that.
Thank you very much for your time, Ben.
You bet. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.